Alright, picture this for a second. It's the dead of night, the kind of darkness that swallows everything. An enemy tank commander, probably feeling pretty smug, thinks he's completely hidden behind a sand dune. Engines are cold, radios silent, camouflaged perfectly. He's invisible, right? Wrong. 40 kilometers away, an Apache pilot, maybe stifling a yawn, presses a single button on a control stick. And just like that, without ever needing to line up a shot or even see the target with their own eyes, they watch that tank vanish in a fiery apocalyptic explosion. The tank crew, they never heard the helicopter, never saw the missile streaking towards them, never had a clue it was coming. They were just gone. Today we're not just diving into some tech specs. We're peeling back the layers on what truly lets the AH-64 Apache fight like a ghost, see like a hawk in absolute blackness, and honestly, decide the outcome of a battle before the enemy even realizes it started. This isn't just a helicopter. It's a flying fortress of pure information dominance, a masterpiece of integrated systems designed to give its crew an almost unfair advantage. The myth everyone believes. Now, when most folks think about the Apache's legendary status, their minds probably jump straight to the raw, visceral power of its weapons. The rockets screaming off the sponsons, that menacing 30mm chain gun spitting fire, or those powerful Hellfire missiles. And yeah, those are incredibly impressive, devastatingly effective, no doubt about it. The Apache is, after all, equipped with a 30mm M230 chain gun, capable of firing an astounding 1,200 rounds, making it incredibly effective against personnel and light armor. It can also carry up to 16 AGM-114 Hellfire missiles, designed to destroy tanks, armored vehicles, and hardened targets from ranges exceeding 6,500 meters. Plus, there are those unguided Hydra 70 rockets for soft targets, and even Stinger air-to-air missiles for self-defense. But here's the thing, and it's a crucial distinction. Those weapons are pretty much useless if the crew can't find, track, and prioritize targets way faster than the other side can even think about hiding or maneuvering. The real superpower, the absolute game-changer that makes all that firepower relevant, isn't just strapped to the wings. It sits quietly inside the rotor mass, tucked under the nose, and incredibly, right inside the pilot's helmet. We're talking about a sensor web so incredibly advanced, so seamlessly integrated, that once it's switched on, the whole helicopter transforms. It becomes this flying server farm, but with spinning blades instead of blinking lights, constantly collecting, processing, and disseminating battlefield intelligence. It's about information superiority, about speed of decision-making, and about an unmatched level of awareness, not just raw brute force firepower. That's what makes it the powerhouse of the skies. Meet TADS PNVS, the Halley's Night Eyes. So first up in this incredible puzzle of perception is something called the Target Acquisition Designation Sight and Pilot Night Vision Sensor. That's a mouthful, right? So let's just call it TADS PNVS for short. If you're in the unit, you'd probably just say TAD pins and everyone would know exactly what you mean. Essentially, it's two separate, super sophisticated pods fused into one sleek housing, slung right under the Apache's chin like a pair of high-tech eyes. This isn't just a camera, it's a multispectral sensing marvel. Inside this package, we've got forward-looking infrared, that's FLIR to you and me, plus a daylight TV camera, a laser rangefinder, and a laser spot tracker. What does all that mean in plain English? And why is it so revolutionary? It means the crew isn't just flying blind at night. They're seeing through absolute darkness, through thick smoke and swirling dust storms, and even through light tree cover or adverse weather conditions that would ground lesser aircraft. That thermal sensor, for instance, doesn't just see light, it sees heat. It can pick up the residual heat signature of an engine that shut off 10 minutes ago because the metal is still radiating warmth. It's like having heat vision on steroids, revealing targets completely hidden from the naked eye. The daylight TV camera provides magnified views for positive identification, crucial for avoiding collateral damage. And that laser? It can measure distances with insane, almost surgical precision, accurate to within a single meter, even from 8 kilometers away. This isn't just for ranging. It feeds those exact coordinates directly to any missile waiting on the rails. ensuring pinpoint accuracy. This system provides unparalleled situational awareness and targeting accuracy, enhancing the pilot's ability to find what others can't and engage with devastating precision. The helmet that aims where you look. Okay, so all that incredible data from TAD's PNVS is fantastic, but it's pretty much useless if the pilot has to fumble around with a bunch of switches, knobs, and joysticks in the middle of a high-stakes fight. That's where the integrated helmet and display sight system steps in. IHADSS, usually pronounced IHADS by those who wear it. This isn't just a fancy helmet. It's a direct interface between the pilot's brain and the helicopter's sensors and weapons. You clip it on, swing that monocle down over your right eye, and boom. The PNVS image, that crisp green-hued night vision view, is instantly projected right there, overlaid with critical flight and targeting data. It's not just a display. It's an extension of your senses, making you feel more connected to the machine than ever before. This system takes the concept of look and shoot to an entirely new level. You tilt your head towards a tree line where you suspect enemy movement, and the crosshair on your display follows your gaze precisely. Your eyes snap to a sudden heat. Bloom off to the left, perhaps an enemy vehicle trying to hide, and guess what? The helicopter's sensors automatically slew to that exact spot, presenting you with a magnified thermal view. And here's the really wild, almost unbelievable part. The 30mm chain gun itself slaves to your gaze. You look at a suspicious pickup truck, maybe one mounted with a weapon, squeeze the trigger on the cyclic control stick, and that cannon rips a burst straight into the engine block. All of this happens while the helicopter is hovering sideways or even moving, completely independently of the pilot's head movement. It's like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, a seamless blend of man and machine, but it's real, and it's happening every day in combat zones around the world. IHADSS significantly reduces pilot workload, allowing them to focus on the fight rather than fiddling with controls, making split-second decisions possible. Longbow radar, the brain in the mast. Now night vision is incredibly cool, don't get me wrong, and IHADSS is revolutionary. But the real, honest-to-goodness game-changer, the thing that truly sets the Apache apart from every other attack helicopter on the planet, is the AN/APG-78 Longbow radar dome. It sits right up there, atop the main rotor hub, like a little spinning brain. This isn't just an add-on, it's a fundamental part of the Apache's combat doctrine. This thing spins at a blistering 200 revolutions per minute, sweeping a full 360-degree bubble out to a whopping 50 kilometers. What can it do? In under 30 seconds, it can automatically detect, classify, and prioritize up to 256 ground targets simultaneously. We're talking tanks, armored personnel carriers, rocket launchers, radar vans. You name it. The Longbow can find it and tell the crew exactly what it is and where the biggest threat lies. What makes it so special, so utterly superior? Its millimeter wave beam. This particular frequency can punch right through conditions that would blind other radars. Thick smoke, heavy rain, dense fog, and even sophisticated camouflage netting. Once it locks onto a target, it hands off a perfect fire solution to a specialized Hellfire missile, the AGM-114L, which now doesn't need any further guidance from the helicopter after launch. This is the essence of fire and forget. So what does this mean tactically for the Apache crew? It means they can execute what's called a pop-up attack. They can pop up just enough to clear terrain, ripple off 4 missiles, and then drop. Back down behind cover, completely out of sight, all in a matter of seconds. The missiles finish their flight on their own, finding their way to the target. No laser dot for the target to warn them. No prolonged exposure for the Apache crew. This capability revolutionized attack helicopter warfare, allowing the Apache to strike from concealed positions with unprecedented speed and lethality, greatly enhancing survivability. How the pop-up shot works. Let's really visualize this, okay? Imagine you're fighting in a place like Afghanistan, with all its rugged, unforgiving ridgelines. The enemy, whether it's Taliban forces or another adversary, thinks they're smart. They've got their armor parked under a cliff, perhaps in a wadi, convinced that any American jet or helicopter will have to fly over their position exposing itself to their air defenses. But the Apache crew, sitting 10 kilometers away, is playing a completely different game. They're masters of something called terrain masking. They carefully climb just enough, maybe 40 feet above the ridgeline, just enough for that mast-mounted longbow radar to clear the hilltop. It scans for a mere 8 seconds. That's all it needs. In that brief window, it detects 4 T-62 tanks, classifies them instantly, prioritizes them by threat range, and then, without hesitation, the helicopter slips back down, disappearing from view, becoming a ghost once more. The gunner hits store on the system, selects ripple fire for maximum impact, and then with practiced precision the helicopter rises again, but only long enough to loft those 4 radar-guided longbow hellfires high into the air, arcing them over the terrain. Then it drops back down, turns cold, and the crew just watches the feed from the missile's own seekers. Each 100-pound warhead arcs gracefully over the cliff and topples those tanks one by one, with devastating top-down strikes. Total exposure time for the Apache itself? A mind-boggling 12 seconds. That's how you fight smart. How you leverage technology to achieve overwhelming tactical superiority without ever truly entering the danger zone. It's a testament to the Apache's design philosophy. See first, shoot first, survive. Manned-unmanned teaming. The invisible wingmen. Now, the newest version of this incredible machine, the AH-64E Guardian, adds something truly futuristic to its arsenal. MUMTX, pronounced MUMTX. This isn't just about flying a helicopter anymore. It's about network-centric warfare and extending the Apache's reach far beyond its physical presence. One pilot from the front seat of the Apache can actually remote control multiple unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, like the MQ-1C Gray Eagle or the smaller RQ-7 Shadow. Think about that for a second. The live real-time feed from those drones, it's all fused right there into the pilot's IHADS helmet monocle, appearing seamlessly as if the pilot were looking through the drone's eyes. So you might have a Gray Eagle drone loitering 80 kilometers ahead, quietly lasing a high-value target like a bridge or an enemy command post. The Apache, still safely below the horizon, picks up that laser code from the drone, launches a Hellfire missile, and then just turns away, its mission accomplished. The missile, guided by the drone's beam, travels an incredible distance to destroy the bridge, and neither the Apache nor the drone ever has to enter hostile airspace directly. This capability essentially gives the Apache invisible, expendable wingmen that extend its reach, sensor capabilities, and targeting options exponentially. The helicopter itself becomes an airborne internet service provider, a crucial relay node, routing critical data between satellites, between those drones, ground troops, and even fast jets all over secure, high-bandwidth networks like Link 16 and JTIDS. This manned-unmanned teaming capability provides real-time intelligence, enhances battlefield awareness, and allows for coordinated strikes that are almost impossible to counter. Fire and forget isn't just marketing. Let's be real. Fire and forget isn't just some clever marketing buzzword when it comes to the Apache. It's a combat reality that fundamentally changed how attack helicopters operate. Older laser-guided Hellfires, while incredibly effective, had a significant drawback. The helicopter had to hover, or at least maintain a stable flight path, continuously painting the target with a laser until the missile impacted. That's incredibly dangerous against modern air defenses, which can quickly track and engage a hovering target. But the radar-guided AGM-114L longbow variant? It doesn't need a laser at all. Once that longbow radar tags a tank, the missile literally memorizes the target's exact location and trajectory, then launches itself. It climbs up to about 2,500 feet, gaining altitude, and then dives almost vertically towards its target. Why vertically? Because it's packing a specialized tandem warhead designed to slice right through the thinner top armor of a tank, which is much more vulnerable than its heavily armored front or sides. Crews absolutely love it. They call it set it and forget it for a reason. And it's not just theory or training exercises. Back in a major 2005 red flag exercise, one Apache, just one, obliterated 15 armored vehicles in under 6 minutes using ripple fire. No other NATO platform that day, not even the most advanced fast jets, could match that kind of rapid, devastating, and precise firepower. This fire and forget capability is a cornerstone of the Apache's tactical dominance. allowing it to strike with impunity and then rapidly relocate, greatly increasing its survivability and mission effectiveness. Gen 3 Day Sensor, the upgrade you haven't heard about. While everyone's buzzing about the big flashy radar and missile tech, the Army has been quietly fielding something incredibly important for the Apache's day-to-day operations. The Generation 3 Day Sensor Assembly, or Gen 3 DSA. This isn't just a minor tweak to an existing camera. It's a significant leap forward. It swaps out the older, lower-resolution daylight TV camera for a stunning 4K color sensor with enhanced near-infrared capabilities. And the zoom? It literally jumps from 127x magnification to an insane 190x. What does that mean in a real-world, high-stakes scenario? It means Apache pilots can now literally read a license plate from 10 kilometers away. Think about the implications of that. They can distinguish between a farmer's pickup truck and one mounted with a DSHK heavy machine gun from a safe standoff distance. This ability to positively identify targets with such clarity and from such a range is absolutely crucial for reducing civilian casualties and ensuring precision strikes. But it's not just about what it sees. This upgrade also halves maintenance hours for the system because the new carbon fiber gimbals which stabilize the sensors don't need constant, finicky alignment like their predecessors. This is a huge win for both operational effectiveness, keeping more Apaches in the air, and for logistics, reducing the burden on ground crews. The Gen 3 DSA, along with the Common Sensor Electronic Unit, CSEU, significantly improves targeting range, reliability, and ultimately reduces pilot workload by providing clearer, more stable imagery, electronic eyes on the back of the head. You know, survivability isn't just about seeing the enemy first. It's just as much about knowing when you're seen, when you're being targeted. That's where the Apache's electronic eyes on the back of its head come in. A comprehensive suite of defensive systems designed to keep the crew alive in the most dangerous environments. Radar warning receivers, or RWRs, are constantly scanning the electromagnetic spectrum, instantly cueing the crew to enemy fire control radar locking onto their aircraft. Simultaneously, laser warning receivers, or LWRs, detect if an enemy rangefinder or a beam-riding missile is painting the helicopter with a laser. These warnings aren't just subtle beeps, they're urgent, unmistakable alerts. When either of these systems triggers, the Apache doesn't just sit there. It automatically dispenses chaff and flares in a pre-programmed pattern designed to confuse incoming radar-guided or infrared-guided threats, and simultaneously the pilot, with lightning-fast reflexes honed by countless hours of training, executes what they call a beep move, a snap 180-degree turn, a rapid, aggressive drop in altitude accelerating to 180 knots, and then breaking line of sight behind terrain. The entire sequence, from the warning going off to the countermeasures deploying to the helicopter escaping behind cover, takes less than 5 seconds. It's a choreographed dance of survival, executed at incredible speed, turning a potentially lethal engagement into a successful evasion. These defensive systems, including infrared countermeasures, are vital for enhancing survivability in contested environments. Training, the invisible tech multiplier. All this incredible sensor tech, all these advanced weapons, the seamless integration, honestly, they'd mean absolutely nothing without crews who are rigorously trained to trust them implicitly, to operate them as a natural extension of themselves. At Fort Novasil, Alabama, where Apache pilots hone their craft, instructor pilots put students through what they call dunker flights. Imagine this. Students wear blackout goggles, effectively simulating absolute darkness, flying just 50 feet above the treetops, navigating solely by the PNVS imagery projected into their helmets. This isn't a game. It's intense. And then, just to really test their mettle and build unwavering confidence, instructors will kill the engines mid-hover, forcing an auto-rotation, a controlled descent without engine power, relying only on the rotor's stored kinetic energy, all while the students are still under those blackout goggles, seeing only the ghostly green world of their PNVS. Graduates describe it pretty vividly. It's like driving a video game with real consequences, but the stakes are your life and the lives of your crew. This isn't just about learning to fly, it's about building muscle memory, about processing complex sensor data faster than the aircraft's own computers can react. It enables them to make split-second decisions, to interpret ambiguous data, and to anticipate threats in ways that the enemy simply never anticipates. That human element, that relentless, unforgiving training is the ultimate force multiplier, ensuring that the Apache's advanced technology is wielded by equally advanced operators. Real-world proof beyond Desert Storm. Yeah, everyone remembers the Apaches tearing up Iraqi tank columns in 1991 during Desert Storm. And rightfully so, it was an iconic demonstration of air power. But let's talk about some more recent, equally compelling stories that prove the Apache's continued dominance. Take 2019 near Kandahar, Afghanistan. A single AH-64E engaged an ISIS-K convoy. We're talking a significant threat of 20 vehicles, including technicals and support trucks. The crew, utilizing their longbow radar, quickly queued up 8 Hellfires for the armored elements, then switched to rockets for the softer-skinned trucks and personnel, and finally finished the job with 60 rounds of that devastating 30mm cannon for any remaining threats. The entire engagement lasted a mere 4 minutes from initial detection to the last shot fired. And here's the kicker, the truly remarkable part. No civilian structures were hit. No unintended collateral damage occurred. Drone footage released afterward showed insurgents abandoning their vehicles, scattering into a field, clearly still unsure where the fire was even coming from. They were being picked apart by an unseen, unheard force. It's a perfect example of precision, speed, overwhelming force, and surgical accuracy delivered by a platform that can dominate the battlefield without making its presence obvious until it's far too late for the enemy. The Apache's effectiveness has been proven in diverse combat theaters, including the Gulf War, Iraq, and Afghanistan, setting the standard for attack helicopters worldwide. Why rivals struggle to match it? You might wonder why other countries don't just build their own Apaches, or why they struggle to field a comparable system. Well, it's not that simple. The Apache's advantage isn't just a single piece of tech, but the seamless integration of all its systems. Russia's Ka-52. Alligator, for example, has decent optics and some formidable weaponry, but it critically lacks that mast-mounted radar. This forces the aircraft to expose itself over terrain to acquire and designate targets, greatly increasing its vulnerability. China's Z-10 attack helicopter is attempting to field a millimeter-wave radar prototype, but their data links and overall network architecture just can't keep up with the robust, secure capabilities of Link 16, severely limiting its coordination with drones and other assets on a modern battlefield. Europe's Tiger helicopter fields some good sensors and is agile, but it generally has a smaller weapon load, and its upgrade cycles can stretch for decades, meaning it's often playing catch-up. The Apache's strength, by contrast, isn't just its individual components. It's the unparalleled system integration that allows all its sensors, weapons, and data links to work as one cohesive unit. And unlike many platforms that see sporadic production, Apache production has literally never stopped since its inception. Boeing continuously delivers remanufactured airframes, upgraded to the absolute latest block every single year, ensuring its avionics, sensors, and capabilities stay fresh and cutting edge. This continuous modernization, exemplified by the AH-64E Guardian variant, maintains the Apache's technological edge and operational superiority, securing its role as a dominant force in attack aviation for decades to come, making it incredibly difficult for rivals to genuinely match its comprehensive capabilities. The human cost of being untouchable. All this incredible tech, all these advancements that make the Apache so lethal and survivable, they undoubtedly save friendly lives and give our forces a decisive edge. But let's be honest, the pilots and crew who fly these machines pay a mental and physical price for being so untouchable. Constant night flights, heads down in those restrictive monocle displays of IHAD-SS, can lead to what they call IHAD-SNEC, a nasty, chronic repetitive strain injury that can plague pilots for years. Long missions, sometimes stretching 7 hours over places like Syria or Afghanistan, require pilots to wear adult diapers and use feeding tubes to stay hydrated and nourished, simply because there's no time or space for breaks. The cockpit temperature can swing wildly, from minus 30 degrees Celsius at high altitude to a sweltering 50 degrees during a low-level hover in the desert. It's physically and mentally brutal, a grueling environment that pushes the limits of human endurance. Yet despite these hardships, retention rates among Apache pilots remain incredibly high. Why? Because these crews know deep down that no other platform in the world offers the same survival edge, the same capability to dominate the battlefield, to execute their mission, and ultimately, to bring their comrades home safe. There's a profound sense of purpose and trust in the machine and their own abilities that transcends the physical discomfort. What comes next? So, what's on the horizon for this flying fortress that has defined attack aviation for decades? The Army's Future Vertical Lift (FVL) program is indeed aiming for a replacement by 2035, looking at next-generation designs that promise even greater speed, range, and stealth. But don't expect the venerable Apache to retire quietly into the sunset. The current roadmap actually extends this airframe's service life all the way to 2060, a testament to its enduring adaptability and upgrade potential. We're talking brand new 3,000 shaft horsepower T900 engines, which will provide significantly more power and fuel efficiency, extending its operational range to approximately 500 km, and its combat radius to between 150-300 km, depending on mission profile. There will also be a second-generation longbow radar with synthetic aperture imaging, SAI, for even greater detail and target recognition, almost like looking at a satellite map in real time. And perhaps most exciting, advanced AI that can pre-sort and prioritize targets before the pilot even glances at them, further reducing cognitive load and speeding up the kill chain. In recent, highly realistic war games, an upgraded Apache, paired seamlessly with future FVL drones, achieved an absolutely staggering 27-to-1 kill ratio against simulated peer threats. The future isn't just bright for the Apache. It's downright terrifying for its adversaries, ensuring its continued relevance as a dominant force in modern warfare. Quick mid-roll CTA. Hey, if you're finding value in this deep dive into the incredible tech that quietly shapes our world and wins wars, then do me a favor. Tap that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything, and drop a comment below telling me which military system you think is secretly the most overpowered. Let's get a conversation going in the comments. Your engagement helps us keep bringing you these in-depth explorations. Cost per kill, the budget nerd section. Now, let's talk numbers. Because every piece of advanced tech, especially military hardware, comes with a hefty price tag. Each AH-64E Guardian flyaway costs about $32 million, and a single Hellfire missile? That'll set you back around $115,000. That might sound steep, I get it, especially when you think about the volume of missiles fired in a conflict. But let's put it in perspective and look at the cost per kill. Compare that to a $3 million Patriot interceptor missile, designed to take out much more expensive threats, or an $80,000 JDM bomb, plus the $70 million F-35 fighter jet that carries it, which also has significant hourly operating costs. Suddenly, against a $4 million T-90 main battle tank, exchanging a $115,000 missile for it looks like an absolute bargain. It's not just about the upfront cost. It's about the efficiency of neutralization. Over 2 decades of counter-armor missions, the U.S. Army has actually estimated that Apache-delivered weapons cost 70% less per destroyed heavy vehicle than alternatives flown by fast jets. This isn't just effective. It's incredibly cost-effective in the grand scheme of military operations, making the Apache a highly efficient tool for destroying high-value enemy assets. Why civilians should care. You might be thinking, okay, cool military tech, but what does that have to do with me, a civilian? Well, quite a lot, actually, and often in ways you don't even realize. The sensor fusion technology first proven on the Apache's IHID-SS system, where multiple data streams are combined into a single, intuitive display. That pioneered the head-up displays, HUDs, that are now becoming standard in luxury cars, projecting speed, navigation, and other information onto your windshield. Those thermal night driving cameras you see advertised in high-end vehicles, designed to spot pedestrians or animals in the dark. They're directly derived from the forward-looking infrared, FLIR-TADS technology developed for the Apache. Even the incredibly precise vibration dampening tech that makes your phone camera so stable, allowing you to shoot crisp videos and photos even when moving, it traces its roots back to the meticulous gimbal research done for helicopter optics, ensuring the Apache's sensors remain rock-steady even in violent maneuvers. Military budgets, believe it or not, often act as powerful accelerators for innovation, pushing the boundaries of what's possible. And that innovation, once proven and declassified, then trickles down, making its way into our everyday gadgets and improving our lives. So, in a very real sense, each of us is an indirect beneficiary of that flying fortress and its cutting-edge development, seeing its legacy in the devices and technologies we use every day. Common myths busted. Let's clear up a couple of common misconceptions about the Apache, shall we? Because with such an iconic machine, myths are bound to accumulate. Myth number 1. Apache armor is impenetrable, making it a flying tank. The truth? While the cockpit panels can stop up to 23mm rounds, offering significant protection against small arms and light anti-aircraft fire, a direct hit from a modern 30mm cannon or a man-portable air defense system, a MANPADS, can absolutely bring it down. The Apache's survivability isn't about being an armored brick. It's about its unparalleled sensors and advanced tactics, keeping it from getting hit in the first place by detecting threats and evading them. It's about avoidance, not just absorption. Myth number 2. The helicopter is too old, too analog for the complexities of modern cyber warfare. Not true at all. The Apache has continuously evolved. Every new Apache shipped today, especially the AH-64E Guardian variants, comes with encrypted mission computers that are designed to wipe themselves clean if they're tampered with, meeting stringent NSA standards for information security. This isn't some analog relic from the Cold War. It's a digitally hardened, networked war machine, fully prepared for the challenges of the 21st century battlefield. Pilot quote to end debate. I think Chief Warrant Officer 5 Lisa Ghost Johnson, a highly experienced 20-year Apache pilot, sums it up perfectly, cutting straight to the core of what makes this aircraft so formidable. She says, and I quote, "People obsess over the missiles. I don't. I obsess over the picture in my eye. If I can see him and he can't see me, the fight is already over. The trigger pull is just a formality." That, right there, is the essence of Apache combat, distilled into a single, powerful statement. It's about seeing, knowing, and acting with overwhelming speed and precision before the enemy even has a chance to react, before they even realize they're in a fight. It's about information dominance, about turning darkness into day, and about achieving a level of situational awareness that renders the enemy's efforts futile. Conclusion. So, while the AH-64 Apache certainly carries world-class weapons, and we've seen how devastating they can be, its truly unbeatable edge, its secret weapon is that incredible integrated sensor suite. It's the tech that turns night into day, that sees through dust and smoke, that networks drones, satellites, and ground troops into one lethal, cohesive information loop. While enemies are frantically scanning the horizon with old-school binoculars, desperately trying to gain an advantage, the Apache is watching them from 50 kilometers away, deciding who lives and who dies, and then vanishing into the night before the sound of its rotor blades even catches up. It isn't just a gunship, folks. It's an information-age fortress hovering above the battlefield, a ghost that truly sees everything, a testament to continuous innovation and human ingenuity. Thanks for riding along with us on this deep dive into the undisputed powerhouse of the skies. Want more stories from the cutting edge of military tech? Then smash that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and tell me below, which platform do you think will finally dethrone the Apache, if any ever can?